some minutes until live joins us. Okay, I think we can start. Hello everyone. As you remember, first of all, thanks to Svetlana that reminded me that I need to share the presentations from our previous sessions. So I will do it now. So we had the collections. So I'm sharing the presentation. That's just a file name, sorry. One moment. That's the wrong one. That's about the collections, and I think I didn't share the presentation with the exceptions. In case I did it, so that's fine. Okay, so now you have the presentations, and yeah, as you remember last time we set up the database using our local host and examp. So now you can run it because we'll need it today, and yeah, hope that most of you, or better almost everyone, managed to set it up. Yeah, and as the main result, you will see that you will be able to access your database using PHP myadmin, and here you have the database. Yes, one more thing is maybe you have heard, but I'll just show you. So basically, yeah, that's the local host. This is how it looks like from examp. If we do it, there's one more option. So basically not one more option, but the option a lot of developers use is so-called MySQL workbench. So you don't need to set up, I'll just show it. So here you have MySQL workbench, you can download it. So you don't need it to do it now, I'm just simply showing you in case you use it in future. So here you can download MySQL Workbench from here. After that, you can open it from your computer. Okay, it's opening for me. So here it is, and yeah, this is how MySQL Workbench looks like. And from here you can connect to database. As you can see, I already done it, and here you need to provide the host name, which is the one you can see in example, this one, and another one is port. I think that for most cases that to connect database, it should be 3306. Username root, and password is empty. You can find it in the, so yeah, first of all you need to have to run examp, yeah, and so without examp you will not be able to use your local host. So yeah, once you go to examp, then you can go to MySQL. No, I think that's not the right one. PHP my admin, I think that's the right one. And from here there should be the file. Just a moment. There's the file. Just one moment. MySQL part. So just forget the file name. Oh yeah, examp files. Oh, that's not. I think that's not the right one. Sorry, this one, yeah. etc, and from here there's my C and F. So when you open it, okay, more people want to join us. It's Christina. And okay, here it is. Here's the file, and from here you can see the port. Basically, you don't need the password because that's commented one, as you can see. So that's the default one, yeah. I didn't make any changes here. So from here you can see the port, yeah, which is basically the port to MySQL. And once you connect, I already have the connection. But in case you set up it from the beginning, I think that it crashed for me. Just a moment. And yeah, so once you connect, you will have the connection to your database, and I'll continue anyway. And from here you can see that you have the same schema as you have in PHP my admin. So in case you use for example again MySQL or MySQL Workbench, or you can use other workbenches. So basically that's the way you can connect to your database. So you can see this is the same database here. Just here and the same is here. Here again you can access the tables. There can be some errors. See? this query. But recent tables cannot be available. Okay, some errors may occur here. But anyway, we will not use it now. Oh yeah, here you can see there's a table, and I'm not sure which was the one we created last time. Okay, just so don't worry about the errors. Okay, now table here. Maybe this one was the one we created last time. Yeah, you can see, I think that was the one. And you can see there's the table here. You can see there are the columns, which we created from here. So yeah, that was just short information if you want to use MySQL Workbench. But yes, let's move on. So we have our database which we can use. But yeah, right now let's move with the presentation, and basically let's go through the Jdbc and find out why we really need this database to be set up here. Okay, let me the presentation. Excuse me. Maybe I don't want. I think that's fine for you. I hope that's fine for you. That you basically see the presentation of the screen. Let's put the screen is quite huge, and so you can see it. So yeah, agenda for this presentation is yeah, we'll talk about what is Java database connectivity, basically why it is needed, why it is used, what it is, what is it, yeah. Then interface API, how it looks in Java, what classes are used, what needs to be installed to be able to use it. Then there's some, yeah, we'll talk about some main classes, which are located in basically Java, in the package we basically will use here is Java SQL. Yeah, then we'll talk a little bit about SQL. I already introduced you with some basic statements in SQL. In general, you will not need more. You won't need more than just, again, as I told you last time, select, insert, update, or delete entries from the table. Then we'll talk about the injections. We'll talk what is it, and why it is important in databases and Java database connectivity, and about the transactions as well. So what is Jdbc? As I mentioned, it's Java database connectivity. So yeah, that's the technology which connects Java code and the database. So basically, that's the option you can use to fetch or insert or update the data from in the database and read it in your Java code. So as you most probably know that databases are the basement for all the softwares, because it's obviously that all the softwares use all the programs, all the applications use databases. If it is a simple website, you have some items inside, like this store, you need to have the data about what are the items in the store, what are the products to sell or buy, and so everything is based on the database. Without database, it is basically it's there are very few cases where the databases are not used. So yes, in case you work with Java, again it's possible that in working with Java you don't directly connect the database, but in most of the cases the development you are working with is somehow related to the data retrieved or to be entered from and inside the database. And basically Java database connectivity provides such option to easily work with to deal with it in using Java programming language. It provides API for querying and updating data in a relational database. Jdbc supports an ANSI SQL2 databases, but can use any databases which has Jdbc driver. So yeah, there are some components used in Java database connectivity, and here is how the on the right side how the general hierarchy looks like. So we have Java application, which we are writing where we are writing Java code, and using the API we connect our code to the Java database connectivity driver manager, and which provides us the option to use again through the driver we go to the database. So there are some different types of database, and these different types may use different drivers to connect. So we use to connect to the database we may need different drivers. And so we have SQL server, which may be the most basic one, and then there is all Jdbc used for developed by Microsoft. That's about open database connectivity. Maybe it's not so open, but so that's just a name. And so maybe let's go through the points. So there's API, which is the access which provides us as Java developers the access to database. So these are the classes which are used to manage all this hierarchy. Then there's a Jdbc driver manager, which basically manages the drivers and defines the objects which can connect our Java application to the corresponding driver. Then there's so-called test suite, helps to determine that our Java database connectivity drivers will run our program. And then there's the bridge between Java database connectivity and open database connectivity. So which basically this one provides the access to this open database connectivity, but that's not really important for you. It's really technical stuff here. For us as Java developers, we most likely we carry about the way how we can access our database. In particular cases, if you have some strange databases, but special cases of databases which are maybe there can be some complications to use any drivers. In this case, you will need to investigate maybe deeper which driver needs to be used. But in general, there are some simple, not simple, but common ways how to connect. So yeah, so how does the Java database connectivity interface look like? And what it basically provides us. As I said, using this interface, we connect our Java application or code to the database. So we don't need to write all this. Maybe if you were previously working with databases, maybe you know that the base code to connect database is PHP. And in this case, if you use Java database connectivity, you don't really need to deal with all this complicated stuff. You just need to provide details about your database. I mean the host name and the port name, and username with password to access the database. And basically, we'll see it later, but you don't really need anymore. Basically, in a simple way, just without Java database connectivity, you would need to do it in a more complicated way. Write some code in PHP and so on and so on. So it's with Java database connectivity, it's much more easier. We don't go outside our Java code. Then there's creation of SQL statements. Maybe that's one exception. So I just told you that we don't need to go outside the Java code. One small thing is that SQL statements, SQL queries are needed here. So using Jdbc we can connect the database, but to fetch and to deal with data, some SQL script and some SQL queries needed to be written as well. Then there's invocation of SQL statements, actual execution, and the actual execution is run by the database. So from Java we pass the query to the database where this query is executed as I showed you last time. Let me open that PHP database. Maybe you already noticed that almost all the statements, not all the statements, but all the actions. I mean, if we insert or do something, it's basically every time we do something, it shows us the SQL query. if we go to database, table, let's finally hold it. Slowly. Okay, but yeah, so once after resolving, I hope that basically what I would like to show is that actually every action we do with the database goes through the SQL queries. And the same, so everything we do, even inside this PHP admin workbench, it goes through the SQL statements. The same as with Java, we simply execute the SQL statements, and that's basically the way how we deal with the database. And yeah, after that it returns us the results from based on the query we've written. And yeah, basically everything what we need to use is located in Java SQL package, maybe it comes from usually. So once you have Maven installed, so yeah, once you have Maven installed and all the packages, all the GARs are installed from Maven dependencies, so it should be located under MySQL connector, and there's GAR MySQL connector. So everything what we needed should come from this GAR library. And yeah, there are some basic classes, input driver for the connection, to prepare and to write the statement, SQL, then at the end we can get the result set, which is basically the set of the results. Yeah. Like if we read something from the database table, we fetch the list of entries from there, which go to the result set. Right. Okay, let's move on. And yeah, here is finally the example, which I will show you next. But basically, this example is the basement for Jdbc, and I mean such example is basically the code from this example is used as the template almost everywhere where you use Jdbc. Okay, so let's create a new package. let's create a new class. Yeah, so before we do something here, as I said, so since this is the external project, I mean not the one we used from GTM, so here to have some results, some results here, we need to add the GAR I just showed to you to the class path. Again, you can find it in your M2 folder, which comes from Maven. I think you should know where it is located. At least you are working with this more than 2 times in one. So yeah, that's M2 folder, which is located in users, your user M2 folder. And then yeah, it comes from the repository MySQL. Then you'll find MySQL connector Java. Take the latest version, and it should be here. So once it is placed, we can move on with the logic. So as I said, we'll need to have everything from Java SQL package. That's why we can already import it, and now we can start the coding. So first of all, what we need to do, we need to establish the connection. So let's do it. And for this one, the connection is the object. In Java, in Java, almost everything is considered as the object. So the connection is the object as well. And we start with no, because we'll need to use try catch, and we'll use even final in this case. So we have try, and we will need to, okay, maybe let's start with nothing, and after that we'll see why we need try catch here. So first of all, we need to load the driver class. To do it, we simply need to call the static method from the class, yeah. Class, that's the class name, yeah. It's nothing else, so we have the class called class, yeah. I think we already had some examples with this one, so that's simple class, yeah. Okay, templates, type here, and then we want to load the driver, and I think that in most cases we can do it this way. com.mysql.cj.jdbc.driver. So this is how we load the class, the driver, and yeah, here you can already see that it asks us to handle the exception, so we basically can do try catch here, as it is asking. It simply can catch everything, to not overcomplicate it. Here in case we have any errors, that will was printed as error, so it can be done this way. System error print, and here you can pass the error, so that will print the error, and finally we can close the connection. Here we can also try catch no pointer exception as well. No pointer exception because okay, maybe again let's have double exception here. So it asks not only for no pointer exception but for every exception. Yeah, that's maybe a little bit complicated, but nothing to do if we need to handle the exception. No way we can escape it. Okay, there's the question from Sandra. Can I please explain the line 12 and lines? So the line 12 is we load the driver. We load the class, and here we provide the name of the class. So once we provide that this way, that will load us the driver. Then line 16, so from here, basically what I want to do, if we have the connection, right? We want to establish the connection, we'll do it here, just a little bit later. So, and in case we, if we have the catch, or basically want to pause the connection in every case, even if we have exception or not. Yeah. And that's why we need to use finally, as I said once. If we want to go to this code, we need to use finally, even if there's catch or no catch keyword. So yes, that's why we need to use finally, because we want to close the connection. But in case we have any issues with this variable, we will catch another exception here, which basically belongs to this finally block. Yeah. And again, there's question syndrome. We need finally because we need to close the collection with connection. Yeah. We need to close the connection, and we want to close it even if the catch is occurred or not. Because that's practically the way. You can use it here, and yes. So line 12. How do we know that this is linked right here? In most cases it will always be here. Yeah. If you work with Jdbc, you simply need to type to load this driver. Yes. Okay, let's move on. So once the driver is loaded, we need to establish the connection, and that's maybe the trickiest part here. And we use driver manager class. And we, from this class, we call the static method get connection. And from here, first of all, we need to provide three things. So, and the path to the URL, the path to our database, then the username and the password. In some examples, and yeah, that's the point which can be different on different. If you use localhost, it can be different in different computers. So basically, I will show you how it works on my computer. Then, so yeah, this one, Jdbc MySQL, is the thing that needs to be here, needs to always be here. So Jdbc MySQL. Then, and from here you need to provide the path to your localhost address, and in some cases it works as if you just simply type localhost. Here in my case it doesn't work because yeah, there are some specifications in which cases this work and which not. So in my case I need to provide the full address for the localhost. So one moment, let me copy it. So in my case this is my localhost address. So this is this one. I think in your case, in most cases, that's 127. I mean this one. In most cases, it's this one. In my case, that's this one. But in some cases, even if you type localhost, that will work here. In my case, I need to provide the full path, the full address here. Then then I type the name of the database. I'm not sure if okay, I have that. So here I have the database, and we basically, are there any entries here? Yeah, there's a table. So yeah, basically here we can provide the name of the database. In my case it's test Java. So I can type it here. Test Java, yeah. Test Java, and I think we don't need to close it. After that, we need to provide the username and the password. So in my case, just simply use root and no password. And now the connection should be done. In case it goes wrong, that will result in the error. So let's test it at the current point. Yeah, so since I don't have any errors, it means that the connection is established. In your case, you can try different options. I mean, you can try your localhost address. So I can find it here. It's on XAMPP. So IP address, this one. So please check what's the IP address, and we can type it here. We can try localhost as well.